Will he confront Lucinda or plot quietly? If Lucinda's family finds out, who will they blame? What's Damien willing to do to keep the secret buried? Blackmail, leverage, or run? What will Chinedu do with the proof? Will he let his child's life be stained or expose the plot before the world? Every celebration has two sides. A face presented to the world and a secret trembling behind closed doors. In the Okafo family mansion, balloons shimmered on gilded railings, laughter spilled from crowded rooms, and the perfume of jollof and roasted goat mingled with the nervous sweat of anticipation. The world was ready to watch Chinedu become a father. The world was not ready for what was coming. "You really outdid yourself, Chinedu," his aunt called, patting his firm shoulder as he straightened a tray. "Not every man would throw such a shower. You are the kind of son a mother prays for." In her corner, Lucinda smiled at the praise, her hand absently caressing her round belly, carefully curated for every photo. Her eyes darted, not to Chinedu but to the entryway, where her phone buzzed on silent, messages from another world. The future was supposed to begin today. But minutes before the first toast, fate twisted everything. Chinedu, generous, traditional, a man raised to believe hard work and honesty could buy loyalty, was searching the hallway for his missing cufflink when he froze outside the guest room. It was Lucinda's voice, brittle from nerves, followed by a man's deeper, familiar tone. His heart began to drum. He wanted to leave, but his legs rooted to the marble. The air thickened. He heard Lucinda's whisper. "Damien, please, not now, there are people everywhere." "Now or never," Damien's voice replied. "Tell me this party is for us. Tell me you still love me." There was a pause, then Lucinda's confession, low but unmistakable. "You know it's you. You've always been the one. But I can't build a life on maybe. Chinedu provides security. If he thinks the baby is his, our future is safe, yours and mine." A ringing started in Chinedu's ears, a rush of blood, a pounding betrayal. He pressed himself against the closed door, each sentence carving fresh wounds into trust. Once the wedding is done and the papers are signed, after the baby comes, so much will be easier. You'll get your share. Everyone will think it's his child, but between us, the truth is buried. A gasp. A hungry kiss he couldn't see but heard. He staggered backward, heart splintered. His world, carefully built, suddenly revealed as someone else's chessboard. Downstairs, the family was still laughing, toasting, dancing. "Let's have a word from the father-to-be," one uncle called. Chinedu walked into the hall, face unruffled. No one saw the cracks. He lifted a drink and smiled. "To family. To trust. To the child who will know nothing but love and truth. Even if it costs me everything." A few aunts cheered, but Lucinda's mother squinted. Lucinda herself stiffened where she stood. Damien across the room smirked. The games began. Daddy challenge. How would Chinedu calm a crying baby? When would he learn to change diapers? As laughter rose, Chinedu's mind spun behind his smile, assembling memories. The cancelled video calls, the missing days, the unexplained mood swings. All the pieces that had felt out of place now sharpened. He was standing inside a celebration hosted in his own honor, built on the bones of a lie. It would have been funny if it hadn't been his life at stake. But humiliation was never going to be the end of Chinedu's story. He stood behind Lucinda for photos, his hand gentle on her belly, the perfect picture. But in his eyes, a storm was rising. Hours later, as music filled the house and Lucinda excused herself to get some air, Chinedu's best friend Ada caught his sleeve. "Brother, your smile is stiff. What's wrong?" He shook her off gently. "Let's finish the party. After tonight, nothing will be the same." In his mind, a plan was already spinning. Every comment, every document, every detail would be evidence. This would not be a foolish brawl. No, Chinedu would hunt the truth calmly, while the world watched, just as calmly as they now laughed. His love had been simple. Their betrayal would be complicated. And before the night ended, everyone would know the cost of pretending. But revenge, Chinedu believed, is best served not with rage, but with truth heavy as thunder, falling in front of every guest, every friend, every camera, the same way trust had broken. Publicly, undeniably, forever. Night bled into morning, but the house was restless after the party. Lucinda posted photos. Curated happiness, careful captions, a future written in staged light. Her phone buzzed. A message from Damien. Did he suspect anything? Lucinda typed. No. He's so easy to read. Chinedu just smiles and gives. Relax, we are safe. But for the first time, her own heartbeat betrayed her. Was she truly safe? Was anyone ever safe from a storm they started? Meanwhile, in his quiet study, Chinedu sat beneath the harsh lamp, staring at the small voice recorder he'd found wedged in his dress shirt pocket. Ada gave it to him, silent and steady. For your protection, brother. I saw Lucinda and Damien disappear before the party. Something about her eyes. He pressed play and heard every word. The plan, the promises, the price of his own innocence. Not just infidelity. A conspiracy, a financial crime set to bloom the moment he signed the marriage documents. The world outside celebrated, but inside him something hardened. Chinedu had always believed evil declared itself loudly. Now he learned it often dressed in whispers. He made 2 phone calls that night. First, to his uncle, old, stern, head of the family, retired police chief. Uncle, I need your counsel. I believe I am being set up romantically and for my name and money. But I want justice, not drama. I need it handled clean, clear, legal. His uncle's reply was immediate. You have evidence. Gather more. Do not confront them in anger. Let them finish their plan. We will trap every accomplice. You will rise higher than this betrayal. His second call was harder. To his mother, wise and tired, praying in a house filled with childhood photographs. Mama, what if the world thinks you are a fool? What if you loved someone who only used you for what you could give? Her answer. Foolish love is still brave, but leave the shame on those who earned it, not yourself. At dawn, Lucia awoke to a full inbox. Gifts and congratulations, glow comments, baby memes, voice notes from aunties and bridesmaids. She smiled satisfied. This was the life she wanted. One where her beauty and cleverness was always rewarded, never doubted. An hour later, Ada texted. Family wants you and Chinedu at the hospital for a routine scan. Lucinda felt a twinge of warning but ignored it. The baby, after all, was her performance's centerpiece. At the hospital, both families gathered. Chinedu held Lucinda's hand, firm but gentle, a perfect picture. He even braided her hair in the waiting room, whispering, Today, I'll be the best father in Lagos. The nurse smiled, teased them. Father-to-be powers, eh? The scan confirmed. Healthy baby, nervous mother, beaming fiancé. Chinedu remembered every line for later. Afterwards, Lucinda's mother, sharp-eyed, already thinking of bride price, pulled Chinedu aside. We must plan the traditional wedding soon. You're not getting any younger, my son. He agreed but asked, Mama, will you help check the paperwork for the baby trust? I want everything official for your grandchild's future. Of course, she crowed. A good family makes all things proper. Just show us the documents and tell us what to sign. He smiled, all sincerity, knowing her greed was now bait. That evening, Ada called. Brother, have you collected her business plan, the account details, the hospital invoices? Yes. Digital copies. And Damien will meet me to show the lawyer's draft. Ada nodded, voice grim. We will run the scans for forgeries. Just keep playing along. Their arrogance is our shield now. As night fell, Chinedu wrote in a notebook. Betrayal grows fastest where love is loudest. Let me sow patience. Let me harvest truth. Meanwhile, at Damien's rented flat, panic was setting in. Lucinda, you have to press him. The trust fund. The property transfer. If he delays, this all unravels. She snapped. It's happening. Why are you acting desperate? We played this well. Just wait for him to sign. But Damien's debts were mounting. His phone never stopped buzzing. Thugs warning, friends demanding payback. For the first time, fear crept into his voice. If we don't get this soon, if his family starts asking too many questions, you know I have nothing to lose. Lucinda hesitated, suddenly aware she'd yoked her future to someone whose desperation oozed like sweat. A week passed. The trust fund papers arrived, impressive seal, lawyer's signature, an official-looking account. Chinedu smiled through every handshake, every fake blessing, every tedious document. All the while, Ada ran fingerprints, Uncle traced phone numbers, bank friends verified account owners. One by one, the secrets unraveled. The lawyer's name a dead end, the documents clever but flawed, account numbers winding back to Damien's shell business. Still, Chinedu waited, letting Lucinda and Damien grow bolder, watching their confidence commit them deeper into the trap. He even increased his gifts, sent Lucinda money for baby things, approved a massive payment for the child's future business. Each act a digital receipt, an unbreakable chain of evidence. Through it all, Chinedu smiled, the same smile that once made Lucinda feel safe, now the mask of a man building a public stage for truth. What would he do with this mountain of proof? Would he explode, or would he detonate the truth publicly, leaving no room for excuse? That answer would come on the day of their traditional family meeting, the day the scam was supposed to be sealed by culture, watched by every eye that had once assumed the world was fair. But for the conspirators, every step closer to victory was actually a step closer to disaster. And for the audience, a question burned. Would Chinedu save his name, or would his heart choose forgiveness when it mattered most? The morning of the family meeting arrived, humid, humming with nerves. Both families dressed in their finest colors, dazzling under the harsh sun. Trays of yam, steaming jollof, peppered goat, and bottles of bitters lined the table. Outside, children chased balloons. Inside, suspicion and greed danced between every handshake. Chinedu, his face a mask of kindness, greeted each guest with warmth. Mama Lucinda, so honored your family could join us. Today is about unity, security, legacy. He pressed her palm warmly, but in his mind he remembered Ada's warning. Play your part perfectly until the trap snaps shut. Lucinda looked every bit the glowing bride, but her eyes darted, searching for Damien, for reassurance he hadn't lost his nerve. Damien arrived late, wearing a forced grin. Aunties whispered about his charm, his fashion sense, his city accent. None saw the sweat on his brow, the panic behind the smile. Uncle Lawrence, the family's legal advisor, cleared his throat. Before we bless this couple and discuss the future, are there any concerns, any questions, anything unfinished business before we sign? A silence too dense for comfort. Chinedu looked at Lucinda, his expression unreadable. My love, before we move forward, do you want to say anything about the trust fund, the property documents, the child's business, that we are all about to sign? Lucinda's hand shook slightly. No, everything is ready. I prepared the baby trust forms, the business plan. We secured an account for our child's future. Uncle Lawrence nodded, flipping through documents. Only his trained eye picked out the inconsistency in the notary seal, the telltale hesitation in Lucinda's signature. What about you, Mr. Damien Cole? Lawrence pressed. You helped with some of these arrangements, yes? Damien smiled too quickly. Yes, sir. I only wanted what's best for our friend. A ripple of questioning glanced through the room. Some eyes lingered longer than before. Ada glanced at Chinedu. Their plan had worked. Greed had blinded both Lucinda and Damien. They'd come to the table not just to eat but to sign and seal their own trap. Lawrence set down the forged documents. All seems in order. Chinedu, one last time, do you wish to sign? Everyone watched as Chinedu stood, smiling. But this was not a smile born of trust. He said, quietly but so every ear could hear. Before I sign, I'd like to play a short recording. For truth's sake, for both families. He pressed play. Lucinda's confession poured into the silent air. Her voice, Damien's voice, their plan, their laughter at Chinedu's supposed gullibility. Their promise that once papers were signed, Chinedu would be an easy mark. The room erupted, shock, gasps, a plate shattering. Lucinda lunged for the phone, but Ada was faster. Damien tried to splutter a denial. It was a joke, it was a misunderstanding. Chinedu didn't raise his voice. No more lies. The account, the lawyer, the transfers, my uncle traced them all. The property, the law firm, fake. The account, yours, Damien. Lucinda broke, her composure a crumbling wall. Chinedu, please, let's talk privately. But her mother stood, fists clenched. You have disgraced this family. You nearly destroyed your own child's future, our future. For what? Even Damien's charm vanished. He was sweating, fingers trembling. They made me do it. She kept coming to me, this is all a setup. Uncle Lawrence signaled the waiting police at the door. Fraud. Forgery. Attempted theft. We have every message, every receipt, every plan. The officer stepped forward. Mr. Damien Cole, you are under arrest for attempted financial fraud and conspiracy. Lucinda sobbed. Chinedu, I was scared. I thought you wouldn't love me if you knew the truth. I didn't want to lose everything. He shook his head, pain and strength mingling. Truth is costlier than any lie, Lucinda. Love that depends on secrets isn't love at all. Some family members cried openly. Others glared at Lucinda's mother, blaming her upbringing. Damien screamed he was set up. Lucinda's father left the table. Her brother looked at Chinedu with shame and relief. Silence circled as police led Damien out, Lucinda still weeping. Finally, Chinedu turned to both families. This was never just about a child or a property. It was about my name, my dignity, my willingness to be a fool for love. Today, I choose not to be a fool or a victim, but a man who builds a future on truth. He looked at Lucinda's family. The child is not mine but is innocent. I'll help if I can, but I will not sign a lie into my house or let anyone else. Tears blurred Lucinda's vision. I'm sorry, Chinedu. I truly am. Please, can we start again? He shook his head, his heartbreak plain. I forgive you, but my home, my legacy, can no longer be built on regret. Both families, stunned, sat as Ada gathered the false documents and handed them to police. Chinedu's mother crossed the room and held her son close. Never be ashamed of loving deeply, she whispered. What shames us isn't loving the wrong person. It's betraying the right one. But outside, murmurs raced through the neighborhood. He exposed her at the family table. The revenge, unbelievable. Chinedu, the gentle, beat the schemers at their own game. Everyone wondered, what would Lucinda do next? Would Damien stay silent in prison? And how would Chinedu heal? A new act was about to begin. News of the family meeting and Lucinda's downfall spread faster than rumors ever could. Before Chinedu even finished gathering the evidence for police, two cousins had posted vague statuses. Some people are just heartless, imagine scamming your own fiancé. By nightfall, #BabyShowerBetrayal trended across 3 states. Memes bloomed in WhatsApp groups. Lucinda's staged smile beside photoshopped wolves. Damien's face superimposed on Yahoo Boy fraud posters. Aunties in church chat rooms debated. Oh, what is the world coming to? Good men now being mocked for simplicity. Even those who'd envied Lucinda's luxury now pitted her, seeing the cost of performing love like a competition. Lucinda's mother was inconsolable, grieving her family's public disgrace. I begged her to be wise, see what her hunger has brought us, she wailed, refusing rice or comfort. Her father locked himself in their bedroom, his name now a household punchline. The little siblings hid their faces at school. For Lucinda, the fallout was immediate. Friends stopped answering calls or had icy conversations. I didn't know you could be so cold. Even for Damien. Bridesmaid groups fell silent, then quietly removed her. The world she built on attention now crumbled in silence. She messaged Chinedu morning and night. Please, let's talk. I'm sorry, I will do anything. Don't let this end like this. His replies, if they came at all, were gentle but final. I wish you healing, not another performance. I forgive, but I cannot return. She tried contacting Ada, begging to explain her side. Ada answered only once. You didn't break his heart, you tried to break his spirit. That's why return is impossible. Word reached Lucinda too that Damien, caught in 3 more scams already facing past creditors, had turned on her to police to save himself. She planned everything, his testimony read. She said he was too trusting to check. Her spiral was complete. Chinedu, meanwhile, struggled with the sharp edge of relief and heartbreak. Neighbors greeted him with awkward respect. Old friends brought food and new advice. Time will heal. A better woman is out there. Just pray and don't lose faith in love. Yet he missed terribly the dream of family he hadn't yet built. The empty nursery, the baby's tiny clothes, gifts from well-wishers still stacked by the door. Reminders of all he'd built for a promise that never truly existed. One night, in the half-light, he sat in that room, grief washing him clean. He didn't burn the gifts, but he packed them carefully. For someone who comes with truth, he whispered. Then came the twist. 2 weeks later, a quiet knock arrived at Ada's shop. A young nurse stood nervous. I think I know something you need. Inside, she handed Ada an envelope. Text messages between Lucinda and Damien, dated weeks before the party. Screenshots of Lucinda's real feelings and, unexpectedly, a separate chat with a third man, one Motzi Kelvin, a business broker, for moving illicit money. Even Ada was stunned by the depth. It wasn't just love gone wrong or a baby scam. There was full-scale financial fraud, tied to a shell company used by several other families to launder dowry gifts and cheat government child welfare subsidies. Ada barely waited an hour. She brought all to Chinedu and his uncle, and together they took it to the police's anti-fraud division. The officer scanned the documents, then blinked in disbelief. This is much bigger than a heartbreak. There's a ring. And your ex wasn't the only woman involved. Now, the case escalated from family shame to city scandal. In meetings with law enforcement, Chinedu was asked, would he testify? Would he help other men and families avoid falling into such traps? Would he let his humiliation serve as a lesson for those too ashamed to share their story? Chinedu agreed. He addressed a hall of other victims, quietly reciting his story. Trust and love should heal, not hurt. Whatever we lose to betrayal, we gain twice as much in wisdom, if we let truth be our shield. The press ate it up. Newspapers now wrote not of a foolish man, but a principled survivor. Betrayed but unbroken. How scam turned to justice ran above his headshot. Lucinda, watching it all unfold from her parents' home, broke down at the final news. Her scam wasn't just exposed, it would be prosecuted. She texted Chinedu one last time. If I go to prison, will you still hate me? His reply, I do not hate you. I pray you find the kind of truth you were too afraid to live. We all deserve another chance. But I cannot give it to you. You must rebuild brick by brick with your own hands. Meanwhile, Ada persuaded Chinedu to finally leave his house and join a volunteer project at the city hospital. A place filled with real people, unmasked by greed or pretense. There, while helping set up a new children's hall, he met Amaka, a nurse whose kindness was simple, whose laughter was unperformed. She did not ask about parties or money. She talked of books, of growing up in her grandmother's house, of loss and recovery. Life, it seemed, was willing to offer Chinedu a different story. One built not on perfect pictures, but on patched-together moments, honest work, and gentle laughter. And as new friends gathered for a small meal at his house, using plates that had once waited for a baby shower, he at last was able to smile, not in triumph but in real release. But now the scandal had reached every home. Aunties warned daughters. Heard Chinedu's story? Learn well, truth finds its way. Uncles told sons. If you love, check with both eyes open. And in the city, scammers slept less easily. All because one man, humiliated in public, chose not revenge but relentless truth. The headlines had faded, but the bruises remained. For days, Chinedu barely slept, replaying every good memory for the hint of a flaw, every sign he should have caught earlier. Friends and family were kind, too kind. They brought food, stopped by to sit in silence, offered advice he mostly ignored. Even strangers in the bank line or at the market whispered, "Sorry. God will reward you for surviving." He thanked them, but their words felt far away. Under the surface, the city had changed. Police investigations widened. At least 3 shell accounts were closed. 2 other engaged men came forward with their own close escapes. In churches and barber shops, the story was retold. Beware of sweet tongues and pretty faces. Not all that glitters is marriage material. But the most unexpected change came from Lucinda's side. Her mother, formerly loud and proud, now wore the face of a woman newly humbled. She insisted Lucinda attend every court date, despite her cries and pleas. "Own your actions," she said. "This shame must yield repentance, not just regret." At the family elder's urging, Lucinda apologized to her siblings, her aunts, and even sent public letters to Chinedu's church and charity group. Social media was less forgiving. Every post, every photo she tried to upload hundreds of cruel comments. Homewrecker. Gold digger. Perfect picture exposed. She deleted her accounts, then reappeared weeks later with a simple note. I am not the person I pretended to be. Forgive me where you can. I'm learning to forgive myself. It wasn't enough for some. But for the first time, Lucinda stopped fighting public opinion and tried to face herself. Damien's fate was crueler. Without Lucinda's protection, debts closed in. He pled guilty, struck a deal for reduced sentence in exchange for revealing the broader fraud ring. He'd spend years behind bars, but the city hardly pitied him. Everyone remembered his laughter at the baby shower, the cocky confidence while hurting others. His last letter to Lucinda, smuggled through a friend, read simply, "We built a dream on sand. I hope you find better soil." She never replied. Chinedu, meanwhile, built something real. At the hospital volunteer program, he found small happiness in daily work. Pushing old men to appointments, carrying babies for tired mothers, handing out meals without ceremony. Amaka, the nurse, became a friend almost by accident. She never probed his wounds. She only laughed with him, listened when he muttered about paperwork, complained gently about the price of tomatoes. Together they felt unambitious joy. No staged photos, just slow, steady trust. After 6 weeks, Ada pulled Chinedu aside. "When will you invite Amaka for dinner?" He hesitated. "I don't want her to feel like a replacement." Ada smiled. Healing isn't about replacing. It's about remembering you can smile without performing. He did. Amaka came. They cooked beans and yam. There was no designer cake, no hashtags, just 2 plates and the sound of gentle rain tapping the windows. Meanwhile, the city, hungry for gossip, found itself talking for once about forgiveness. Women's groups invited Chinedu to speak about protection against emotional fraud. School counselors used Lucinda's letter in classes about peer pressure and honesty. Some churches even hosted family truth nights, letting women, men, siblings air grievances in the open. No more secrets, no more staged perfection. A local journalist wrote, "Maybe this scandal was a gift. Maybe transparency, even when born of pain, can birth mercy." Months passed. Chinedu's nursery, once a shrine to heartbreak, was turned into a little library for the hospital's children. The so-called baby shower toys became prizes, no longer reminders of loss, but of generosity, of beginnings when endings seemed inevitable. On one quiet afternoon, Amaka found him in that room. "Does it still hurt?" Chinedu nodded. "Sometimes. But now when I see a child smile because of these old toys, I feel not healed, but grateful that the story didn't end with a lie." She squeezed his hand. Stories never end. They only change tellers. Lucinda, free but ostracized, did not disappear. After her final hearing, she volunteered to sweep the church steps. Some mocked, some forgave. She kept sweeping. One day she saw Chinedu waiting for a taxi nearby. Their eyes met. Not angry, not yearning. Just 2 survivors of a story that started with pretense and ended with truth. She walked over. "Thank you for not letting the lie win." He bowed his head. "Thank you for helping others see how costly it is to pretend." They parted with a small, weary smile, perhaps not friends, but not enemies any longer. Minihook. The courts prepared to sentence Damien, but there was talk of other conspirators. Who else would be exposed? Chinedu's story threatened other family secrets. Would someone try to silence him, or would more victims step from the shadow? And perhaps most pressing for the audience, would he risk loving again with his whole heart, or had betrayal closed that door forever? In the city's heart, against all odds, one man's public humiliation was slowly remaking what everyone called love, what everyone called truth. But a final act remained. As the scandal's shock calmed, real justice began. The city's courts called not just Lucinda and Damien, but a web of co-conspirators, a corrupt notary, an anti-advisor who'd helped launder dowries for years, 2 bank clerks who'd quietly adjusted ledgers for a cut. One hearing ballooned into a televised anti-fraud trial that nearly shut down the courthouse. Chinedu arrived at court in a simple shirt. No lawyer's flash, no family entourage, just Ada quietly filming for legal records. Reporters crowded the steps. "Sir, what do you hope happens? Do you want maximum punishment?" Chinedu answered, voice steady. "I want truth, not just punishment. Not every crime is evil. Sometimes desperation makes people reckless. But even desperation cannot turn black to white. Inside, Lucinda trembled beside her mother. Damien, shackled between officers, tried his old charm. Failed. As evidence was paraded, voice recordings, fake documents, WhatsApp logs, each new witness shattered silence. A pastor who'd been asked to bless falsified marriage papers, a tailor paid to backdate receipts, even a nurse whose signature had been forged. When Lucinda's turn came, her voice was clear but low. "We thought we were owed a better life," she said. "We tricked ourselves before we tricked anyone else. I regret it. That is not freedom. I ask forgiveness, especially from those we shamed." The judge, older than any parent present, peered over his glasses. "Forgiveness belongs to God and to victims. From this court you will receive justice. Too many have traded truth for comfort." Sentencing was harsh on the professionals. Lucinda, for her cooperation, was sentenced to community service and ongoing probation. Damien, the ringleader, drew years. The anti-advisor, despite protests, received jail time. Her scheme finished for good. The city watched and spoke less about Chinedu's revenge, more about his restraint. He had broken a cycle without becoming cruel. The fact that he asked for mercy amid justice became its own legend. In the months that followed, something strange began. He received letters from men and women across the country. Some were apologies. "I laughed at you when the news broke. Now I see real strength." Others, confessions. "Your story made me admit my own secrets. I finally left a toxic partner." A few requests. "Can you come speak at our school? Teach our sons not to learn pride from pain." Even Ada, who'd always been fierce for her brother, found herself changing. "They see you as more than a survivor now, Chin. More like the brother everyone wants when their life falls apart." He only smiled, grateful, and a little dazed at how far the story had traveled. But just as he found peace, a new mini-crisis threatened. The hospital director called Chinedu and Amaka to her office. A social worker had found two young twins, abandoned after their mother, a former friend of Lucinda, was arrested in a separate scam. The babies had no relatives willing to take them and were days away from being placed in a packed state orphanage. "Can you help?" she asked. "Not to adopt, but the faith among our staff is shaken. If you visit, if you show up for them, maybe others will come too. Just for a few weeks." Amaka's eyes brightened, Chinedu's widened. "It feels too soon," he whispered to her later, heart hammering. "Part of me wants to hide from ever feeling responsible for a child again." Amaka met his gaze. "What broke you isn't children or truth but pretending. So let's help in the open, no pretending." And so they said yes. In the weeks that followed, a public campaign began. Photos of Chinedu playing with the twins, Amaka calming them, city donors visiting the ward, neighbors dropping off food and toys. Someone from national TV picked up the story. Once broken by betrayal, now building trust for others. The hospital filled with hope. Nurses who'd quietly mocked Chinedu now brought him soup, asked parenting advice, confessed their own stories. Old aunties sniffed. "God is moving. See how even shame can birth blessing." One day, as Chinedu put the twins down for a nap, Amaka turned to him. "Have you noticed," she said, "how the children never look for a perfect picture? They just want to be held honestly." He nodded, realizing, maybe for the first time, that his vision of what made a family had grown too rigid, with or without baby showers, ceremonies, or even blood. What if, in patching up others' wounds, he had started healing his own? Hook. But when a national news crew arrived for an interview, an unexpected visitor slipped into the crowded ward. A man with a familiar face hiding a folder. It was one of Damien's old creditors holding new evidence. "There's more to unravel," he whispered to Ada. "And the next lie might just surprise everyone. Especially your brother." Ada tensed. There was still a snake hiding in the grass. The city's lesson was not finished. Mini-hooks. Would new secrets threaten to undo Chinedu's hard-won trust? Would Amaka and Chinedu risk everything to protect the twins from the system? Or would the public scandal turn once more, testing every friendship, every hard-won legacy? The next scandal approached not with fireworks but with whispers. The man with the folder, a creditor named Mr. Edom, slipped past hospital volunteers and found Ada in the corridor. "I've seen how open your brother is," he said, voice low. "That's why I'm risking this." Inside the folder, new bank transfers, anonymous tips, and most shocking, a letter signed by one of the baby business fraud ring's last big players. The document named more families, listed hush payments, implicated minor officials, even one hospital accountant on Amaka's ward. Ada read, pulse racing. "Why bring this to us?" Edom shrugged, ashamed. "Inside, I admired your brother. He didn't drag people for fame. I want these kids safe and these criminals ended. My own sister was almost scammed too." Ada brought the folder to Chinedu and Amaka in the hospital's playroom, twins giggling at their feet. Chinedu went cold. "I wanted closure, not more wounds." Amaka squeezed his hand. "But if we keep quiet, new families will fall. What if these twins' mother? If she herself was victim and villain? It's all connected." After much prayer and debate, they acted. With Ada's help, Chinedu called his uncle at the fraud unit. All evidence was turned in. This time, however, they insisted on protection. "Do not use our names until the children are safe. We won't lose family by birth or by love because of unfinished business again." Meanwhile, tension built at the hospital. News of the investigation caused the tainted accountant to vanish, leaving holes in payroll, panic among staff, and 4 children's treatment delayed. Several volunteers quit, frightened the scandal would taint them. A few nurses whispered, "This only brings trouble. Why can't he leave it alone?" It stung Amaka, and made Chinedu question himself deeply. Maybe I should have let sleeping dogs lie. Maybe all this honesty just brings more pain. But that night as he left the hospital, a cleaner, a frail old woman, caught his sleeve. "My own son died because nobody cared to see the papers, sir. For children like these, please never stop." Her words settled everything. In the days that followed, the city turned restless again. Reporters camped outside the orphanage. Hospital administration called emergency meetings. Parents, worried for their children's safety, demanded full transparency. Every staff member was questioned, all gift accounts audited. The few found innocent felt vindicated. The guilty were quickly identified and dismissed. But a rumor ran wild. Chinedu was chasing trouble to make himself famous. Jealous relatives began to call, a few accusing, others begging for cash when it was all over. Old friends picked sides. For the first time, Chinedu truly felt what it meant to be on trial before an entire city. Not for shame, but for refusing to stop pursuing truth. Through it all, Amaka steadied him. "If they will not give these children family, we can. If they see your courage as pride, let them learn you'd rather lose fame than let quiet evil survive." He listened. He led as he always did, stepping into discomfort, telling his story anew for every fear-filled parent, reminding the city the twins were not a campaign, but kids who already lost one home. They won't lose another because of us. Each night, Amaka wrote their progress, photos posted with careful captions. Family is a promise, not paperwork. Trust is built, not bought. As the dust settled, a miracle arrived. The city's goodwill returned, donations spiked, more nurses volunteered. A lawyer offered pro bono adoption advice for families fighting similar frauds. The twins, once pale and withdrawn, bloomed. One learned to say, "Papa Chin." The other loved Amaka's lap best of all. At a hospital fundraiser, an MC called Chinedu's story, the journey from perfect pictures to honest living. The crowd applauded. Chinedu, embarrassed, said quietly, "If even one child finds a safer home because of what I survived, then every loss has a purpose." But a hook remained. Would Chinedu and Amaka keep these twins as foster children? Maybe more? Or would they let go, risking new heartbreak for the sake of what's best? Would their family by accident become the second chance neither had dared dream? And deeper, if another scandal cycled back, would Chinedu finally walk away? Or would he become the city's unlikely champion, hated by the corrupt, but loved by anyone who ever hoped for true justice? At the city's annual family festival, the air pulsed with music and the scent of spicy jollof. Children in bright ribbons darted between food stalls. The festival's MC, voice booming through speakers, called for a moment of silence to honor children awaiting adoption. Then he turned unexpectedly to the crowd. There are people among us who have turned disgrace into courage. Tonight we have one such guest, Chinedu Okafo. Stand up, sir. A cheer erupted. Chinedu blushed, scanning for escape, but Amaka squeezed his hand. Let them see the truth you fought for. Not for pride, but for hope. Reluctantly, he stood, lifting one of the twins onto his hip. Cameras snapped, social posts flew. #RealFather, #FamilyByChoice, #From Betrayal to Blessing. The festival crowd demanded a speech. He hesitated, heart pounding. Then steady, he spoke. I came here broken by a lie. I nearly withdrew from the world. But I learned, first from pain, then from these children, what matters isn't perfect pictures but honest care. I do not know what tomorrow holds for any of us. I only know family is not defined by paperwork, baby showers, or the length of your name in the news. Family is the people who stay when there are no more witnesses. Family is the children you protect, the hands you hold, the truth you refuse to let go. The crowd's applause was thunderous. A few older women wiped tears. A young man stepped from the crowd, a man whose own adoption had once been a city scandal. They laughed at me too, he said quietly. Now I run my own home. A chain reaction started. One by one, people shared their own truths of betrayal, of loss, of unexpected healing. The festival, meant simply to be a party, became a confession, a celebration, a community of second chances. That night, as the festival ended and the twins slept curled against his chest, Amaka found Chinedu gazing at the stars. You look scared, she whispered. He shook his head. Not scared. Humbled. For the first time, I feel what I lost at that baby shower wasn't just pride, but the wrong dream. My better life wasn't stolen. I just had to stop performing to find it. She kissed his cheek. You've always had a real heart. Now the city can finally see it. Later, as they walked home through quiet streets, Ada caught up, breathless. Hospital called. The judge wants to know, will you and Amaka foster the twins officially? Or will you help find another home? They paused at a lantern-lit avenue, hands tight around the children's. Amaka bit her lip. Are we ready for more heartbreak if system fails us? Chinedu met her eyes. Home is a risk, but what we learned, what the city learned, is that nothing heals like giving back what you thought was stolen. They called Ada's phone then and there. Yes, we'll sign as foster parents. For as long as they need a safe place, we'll be that place. Tears, joy, relief. The city would cheer, some out of admiration, others to erase old gossip, but none as fiercely as these four souls nestled in newfound family. Within days, the story hit national news. From betrayal to belonging, viral groom gives orphans a second chance. Newspapers ran side-by-side photos. One, Chinedu's face at the infamous baby shower, eyes haunted, the other, joy bright beneath hospital lights, twins in his arms, Amaka at his side. Counselors, journalists, and local leaders called it a miracle of narrative. But to Chinedu, the miracle was smaller. A child's hand trusting his, Amaka's steady presence, Ada's laughter in the hallway. Was all pain erased? No. Shame lingers, and the internet never forgets completely. But now, when people whispered in markets or banks, the tone had shifted. See what good can come, even after the worst is made public? And quietly, word spread that other children, and young mothers in distress, had found support through the campaign. Hospitals started real family nights, charities hosted healing circles, and cynical hearts, faced with undeniable hope, softened just a little. Another mini-hook. As Chinedu and Amaka signed the fostering papers, a hospital clerk brought a sealed letter, a DNA report, requested months ago by the court just in case. The envelope remained unopened, resting on the table. Would they open it, risking a new wound? Or would they accept, finally, that family is not about proving blood but choosing to love anyway? That night, as the twins slept, Amaka placed the envelope in Chinedu's hand. It's your choice, she said. Read it, or burn it, or frame it as the document you never needed. Chinedu paused, breath shaking. He kissed the envelope, then dropped it into a box beneath the bed, beside other relics of perfect pictures and impossible expectations. He turned to Amaka, now at last certain. Tomorrow, let's show the world what family really looks like. And as the city waited for the next chapter, this chosen family slept at peace, no longer defined by betrayal, but by the courage to love, publicly and without apology, when trusting seems impossible. Hook. Would their peace last? Or would society's hunger for new drama drag old ghosts to their doorstep again? And as new children, new scandals, new challenges arrive, would Chinedu's journey inspire the next viral story of hope? A few weeks passed, warm and gentle for the first time in ages. The twins learned to say their names with pride. Amaka decorated their little shared room with drawings, smiling suns, a family of stick figures holding hands, and in the corner, home is where we're chosen in a child's wobbly scrawl. Word spread. Family by choice wasn't just for Chinedu and Amaka. A dozen new foster applications hit the city office. The hospital, once tense with shame, now felt light. Laughter spilled from lunchrooms, staff supported one another. Parents lingered after hours, swapping stories of loss and hope. Even the director said, "Let's make this the place where no one is afraid to ask for help." The viral groom became a quiet hero, reluctant in interviews, but never saying no when the story could help someone else. Chinedu started a small support group, sometimes meeting in the park or a church basement. Grieving men battered by betrayal, learning to trust again. When one man confessed he'd considered ending his life after public humiliation, Chinedu shook his hand hard and said, "Outliving your shame is the best revenge, and the greatest gift you can give a future family." Once Lucinda had been the center of every party. Now she passed through markets almost invisible, furiously chased by her own regrets. But she didn't run. The court had ordered hours of community service, but even when the requirement was met, she kept sweeping church steps. Some boys snickered, girls gossiped, but now and then, an old woman or a young mom would quietly leave bread or a thank you on her bench. One humid Sunday, Chinedu stopped at the church gate as Lucinda swept. For a moment she tensed, expecting coldness or rebuke. He greeted her gently, the twins beside him, Amaka smiling from the car. Lucinda stammered, You look well." "I am," he answered. "How are you?" She managed a wobbly smile. "Learning. I've met so many women here with harder stories, and I see now I was building a life to impress strangers, not to honor my own truth." He nodded. "You've taken responsibility. That's more than most do." She glanced at the twins, who waved warmly. For a split second, regret flickered sharp. "They're beautiful. You're a good father, even if it happened by accident." He replied, "No child is an accident if they're truly loved." Neither apologized again, there was no need. The city watched, quietly approving, as these two survivors of one public disaster embraced the hard, slow work of ordinary days. Days later, the city called for a special event, part award, part healing ceremony for families who turned public shame into hope. Chinedu dreaded such things, but Ada and Amaka insisted, "You're not going there for yourself. You're going for everyone who's been in your shoes. If even one person decides to keep going because of your scars, you must show them it's possible." At the event, Chinedu found himself beside a podium, the twins dressed in matching green. The mayor called him up, city leaders shook his hand, and 1,000 phones snapped photos. After the thanks, the MC asked slyly, "If you could say one thing to the old you, the man at that baby shower, what would you tell him?" Chinedu laughed, but his eyes narrowed with memory. "I'd tell him, don't measure your worth by anyone else's love. The people who betray you are only passing through, but your integrity is forever." Home is the place you create from truth, never from performance. A standing ovation. The video was posted, clipped, remixed. Within hours it trended again. #worth is built, #family by truth. Some commented, "He's a better man than most of us." Others asked, "When is part 2 coming?" A few, always a few, wrote, "No way I'd forgive, but maybe the world needs more men like him." Afterwards, a surprise. The twins' biological grandmother approached, wringing her hands. "I've changed. I want to see the children, only if you say yes." Chinedu and Amaka sat with her in a park, uncertain. She cried, recalling her daughter's downfall, swearing she wanted to be better. "If you say yes, I'll go slow." If you say no, I'll walk away, grateful they're safe. Amaka gripped Chinedu's hand. The twins crawled into his lap. Then, surprising himself, he answered, "Family is never just blood or a signature. If you stay humble, if you build trust the way we all have to, you can be a part of their story." There were tears, a promise, an unsteady first dinner. It was not perfect, but it was real. The city cheered, but Chinedu's peace was not in headlines or hashtags, but in the daily ordinary miracle. Seeing children safe, holding Amaka at night, feeling shame's echo get softer. Mini hook. But as Amaka tucked the twins in that night, she held up the unopened DNA envelope. Should we ever show them who they belong to by blood? Or does that matter now? Chinedu slid it into a drawer. Not tonight. Let love be enough. The camera of public drama zooms out. One family tried by fire writes a new ending. One where the truth, not the perfect picture, is what lasts. Spring then summer. The city grew and changed, maybe a little softer, a little wiser. Babies born that year were given names like Chinedu, Amaka, Hope, and Legacy. Couples worked a little harder to know each other's hearts before celebration. When stories of betrayal trended again, more people paused before mocking, remembering how one man's pain had blessed them all. Chinedu's home was never silent again. The twins, now running, talking, sometimes fighting for his lap, filled the rooms with noise and life. Amaka's laughter became the clock, Ada's wisdom their compass. When the first foster care review came, social workers smiled. "This is the best recovery we've seen." One night, sitting by the window after putting the kids to sleep, Chinedu turned to Amaka. "I dreamed for years about having a perfect family. All I got was reality, and it was so much better." She laid her head on his shoulder. "We don't need perfect. We just need to stay real." Ada joined them, phone in hand, showing new messages. Men want to start healed grooms group chats. Social workers want your story for youth seminars. Even Lucinda wrote another apology, this time with no excuses. "Do you want to reply?" Chinedu thought, then replied simply, "I forgive you. I pray you find peace and purpose beyond the things you lost." Amaka squeezed his hand. "The world may still gossip, but you broke the chain." The city hospital, inspired by his story, named its new family center after his mother. At the ribbon cutting, elders and children crowded the hall. The old pastor who'd once blessed his doomed baby shower was asked to pray again. This time, not for illusions but for roots. He prayed, "May no child here fear the truth, and no parent fear to begin again. Let every wound birth wisdom, and every exposed lie become a lesson the whole city honors." In the crowd, Lucinda stood at the back, her head high. She was not shunned, she was welcomed. A few hugged her, some nodded. She had become part of forgiveness by never asking for it, only working for it. After the ceremony, she found Chinedu and handed him a small paper. "Thank you for becoming the proof that hope survives even after we fail to deserve it. I will teach my own children someday your story." He smiled, no bitterness left. Most of the city saw just the headlines. But at home the miracles were quieter. Amaka helped the twins with schoolwork. Chinedu played on the floor building toy castles. When the twins asked how they came to live here, Amaka told only the good parts, saving the hardest truth for when they were older. Family dinners were sometimes loud, sometimes awkward, but each ended with hands joined. A prayer not for more blessings, but for strength to be thankful for life as it was. On the one-year anniversary of the baby shower scandal, the city held a festival. This time, themed, "Nothing but the Truth." Couples retold their own stumbles and recoveries. Children dressed as heroes of hope. Chinedu, asked to give the closing speech, looked out over a sea of faces, then down at the hand of a child he now called son. "I lost what I thought was everything," he said, "but pain stripped away what was fake, so I could start again with what was real. Your story doesn't end with shame, but with the courage to let truth stay. In every home, let the lesson last. Forgiveness is the only inheritance that grows by being given away." Tears, applause, song. As the crowd dispersed, strangers approached, some to thank, others to ask for counsel. But one little girl just hugged his leg and whispered, "Thank you for not running away." That night, Amaka and Chinedu watched the twins sleep and promised, whenever storms came, they would not hide. "Our wounds," Amaka whispered, We'll become windows so the next lost child, the next shamed parent always sees the light. In a quiet act, Chinedu finally tore open the old DNA envelope. He read the result, smiled softly, and burned it in the fire. Blood helps build life, but love is what makes it worth living, he told Amaka. She grinned, tearing up, and replied, "Let the world choose love as bravely as you." Together they leaned into each other, ready for whatever late nights, hard questions, or future heartbreak might come. After all, they had family, truth, and a city forever changed by their journey.